Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests. A number of years ago, my family and I were driving back from a long weekend that we had enjoyed in San Francisco to our home in San Diego. We had just crested over the top of the hill, coming over the Grapevine on I-5. My wife, my co-pilot, the navigator, and I were chit-chatting, talking about what a great time we had had, and kind of figuring out, gee, how much time do you think before we get home? What's the traffic going to be like in LA? And my 3-year-old, sitting in the back seat, safely strapped into her car seat, all of a sudden said, "Daddy, I got to go potty." Well, if any of you have been on that portion of I-5, you might recall that there aren't a lot of places where you could take a little girl to go potty. A few little boys, perhaps. But there were no available spots for little girls. So I said, "Jennifer, can you hold it?" She went, "Uh-huh." I said, "Oh, we've got some time." So we continued on. I said, "We've got to find a place to go." And my wife said, I know. So we're driving down, and I could look in the rearview mirror. I adjusted it to kind of watch her, and I could see as time crept on, she was starting to fidget a little bit in her seat, and her toys were getting thrown around a bit. And every once in a while, "Daddy, I got to go." I said, I know, we're working on it. "Can you hold it?" "Uh-huh." And so pressure started to build from the back, and we started to get nervous in the front. I said, what are we going to do? Well, God smiled at us, and all of a sudden, we turned the corner, and there in front of us was civilization. And we said, oh, there's got to be a place. And sure enough, we looked up on the right-hand side, was a Kmart sign. I said, I know they have a restaurant. So I pulled off the exit ramp, onto the access road. Once again, God smiled, right into the Kmart parking lot, and there was a spot for us, close to the front. So I pulled in there, I looked at Janet and said, "Do you want to take her? Hopefully. Or me?" She said, "Well, why don't you take her?" I said, okay. So I got out of the car, went to the back, unbuckled her, picked her up, and she's really starting to shake right now. So I run into the store, and I'm looking around. Kmart employee. I said, "Where are the restrooms?" He said, "In the back." I said, that's all I needed to hear. After all, I was a guy, I didn't need specific directions. So back I shot, got to the back. I needed specific directions. And there it was, the sign, restrooms. I said, great. So I went down the hallway, pushed open the double doors, went into the door on the right, walked down. First stall I opened, it was empty and relatively clean. I went in, closed the door, put her down in front of me. I said, now don't touch anything, nothing. I unbuckled her little trousers, pulled up her shirt, pulled down her pants, sat her on the john and went, whew, backed up a few inches. And I sat down. And I sat there just like this, and I thought, what am I sitting on? So I looked between my legs, and there, underneath my butt, was a little silver trash can with a foot pedal. And I thought, oh no. Although I used actually some Navy vernacular, Jennifer looked at me and says, "Mommy doesn't like that word." I said, I know. Now, I've been to men's bathrooms literally all over the world. And not in one stall had I visited was there ever a little silver trash can with a foot pedal. So I backed up, looked down to my left underneath the stall, looked down to my right underneath the stalls, and there were little silver trash cans with foot pedals in each and every one of those stalls. Once again, I reverted to my Navy vernacular and said, oh no. So I turned around, opened the door, I looked to my left. There was a couch, a very comfortable looking couch, with a large ornate mirror above the couch, but not one urinal. Looked to the right. Again, a total absence of urinals. I shut the door and I said, Jennifer, we've got to hurry. She looked up at me and said, Daddy, tell me a story. I said, I don't have time for a story. We've got to go. And she said, but it won't come out. I said, oh, please, you've got to help me here. Now, I don't know what happened over the next few seconds, minutes, however long it took, but eventually we did what we had to do, or she did. So I got her dressed again, I picked her up, put her in my arms, opened the door, looked out, all sides. The coast was still clear. I went rushing to the doors, and as I opened it and started walking through the threshold, a lady showed up, her head down, bent on getting to where I had just been. And she looked at me and kind of went, and I said, oh, don't worry, I said, I think I'm the one in the wrong room, as I pointed to the picture very large picture of the woman and the word woman underneath it. So I went running down the corridor, into the store proper, outside the doors, found the car, got Jennifer, reseated in the car. I got in myself. As we're backing up, Janet said, "How'd it go?" I looked at her and said, "You know, I think next time you should bring her to the bathroom." Mr. Toastmaster.